The teaching profession is obsolete, and has been for quite a while. But before anybody seeks to crucify me for that, you need to understand that education and learning are literally the most important things in my life. Teaching and education are not equivalent. Allow me to explain. Teaching is showing or explaining how to do something. People, and especially kids, don't learn that way. Think about that. Traditionally, definitionally, teaching does not lead to learning. I'm going to put a caveat in here. It is true that some people learn this way. It is true that some people learn via absorption, by watching and waiting, looking. The percentage of these learners, but the percentage of those learners is small. And as technology increases, that percentage gets smaller and smaller. There's a reason for that. And it's the same reason that teaching does not necessarily lead to learning. And this is the paradigm shift that we need to discuss as educators. Learning happens when a learner realizes an eager want. Let's dissect this a bit. This is the fundamental juice of learning, the eager want. Everything in your mind at this point is in there because you decided, subconsciously or consciously, that it was worth holding on to, that it was worth keeping. Everything you have is the result of an authentic want in your life. Spend any major time reading educational philosophy or psychology, and you're going to come across the idea that learning is much easier for students when they practice things like agency, when they practice collaboration, when they practice when the learning includes personal relevance, when it's personally relevant to them. These things are types of and resultant from eager wants. And these eager wants don't have to be, and are often not, an eager want to learn the content. Kids are often uninterested in that. It might be an eager want for them to fit in. It might be an eager want for them to feel seen or accepted. It might be an eager want for them to feel smart. These are the kind of things that drive humans to do anything, especially the young humans. And of course, it is certainly possible to have an eager want to simply learn this thing. I do that. I think that's a relatively mature attitude. And rare, perhaps. Even the things I demonstrate here in this channel are not necessarily an eager want to learn, but in fact an eager want to experience, an eager want to live. Learning happens when a learner realizes an eager want. An eager want is a personal desire to know, or do, or be, and it ultimately represents some drive, which is part of what makes us human. Evolutionarily speaking, our eager wants are finding food, procreating. But, and while there's a little bit of that in the framework of pedagogy, the evolutionary neurobiology of learning is perhaps beyond the scope of this video, but generally, we don't need to spend as much time wanting to find food and procreating. We still have this drive, but we are now free to use those powers to seek new and interesting things, other things. That search for meaning, search for truth, is what makes us human. One thing we have to remember, one thing we cannot forget, is that our students are whole people, and they have eager wants as well. Again, if you're familiar with educational writing or pedagogy of any sort, you're familiar with the concept in teaching of the aha moment. As educators, we strive for that aha moment, that moment of understanding, that moment of realization, meaning the student gets it. What traditional pedagogical discussion misses is that aha moment is usually not visible, and it's likely the learner isn't cognizant that it's even happening. Learning often happens subconsciously and is often invisible because it is a largely personal and idiosyncratic fulfillment of a personal and idiosyncratic eager want. Allow me to get to the point. Traditional teaching does not provide, inspire, facilitate, or encourage the realization of eager wants. How do I know this? How did I come to this conclusion? I'm not going to completely retread ground that much smarter people have spent their lives researching. In the description, you'll see a list of resources and things I've read on the subject, and you can do your own research and read what you want. But this is a summary of the things that I've read on the subject and the things I've personally experienced. I've based my life on this conclusion and based my pedagogy on it and my own book. Traditional teaching does not provide, inspire, facilitate, or encourage the realization of eager wants, which means that traditional teaching does not provide, inspire, facilitate, or encourage learning. Traditional teaching is primarily concerned with the transmission of information. The internet has made traditional teaching utterly obsolete in that regard. At this point in our human history, we and our kids have supreme, maximal access to information. Frankly, we don't need teachers to teach us stuff. We don't need teachers because teaching isn't there to help us learn. They don't help us learn because we don't need information. Our kids need inspiration. Traditional teaching often regards students as containers to be filled. These days, our kids come to school full of information. They can't take anymore. They don't want to take anymore. They don't need anymore. They neither need nor want more information, which means they don't need the teacher. If we don't have teachers, what do we have? We need facilitators of learning. The facilitator's job is to inspire and encourage the realization of eager wants. I believe, and this should not be controversial, that the end goal of education should be learning. And I don't think teaching does that. But facilitating learning, being an inspiration, facilitating learning, facilitating the realization of eager wants does. Facilitating learning encourages and helps students realize eager wants, fulfillment, authentic reality. So how does one facilitate the realization of eager wants? Stay tuned.